So, like I said, we have actually come to the end of Wi-Fi hacking, but that does not mean that you should not continue to practice and to look for more ways you can perform that penetration testing as a defensive ethical hacker. Now, if you remember when we started the training, I explained some things to us that cybersecurity is not about, it's not just about, or let's say, ethical hacking, since that is the focus at the moment. It's not just about breaking into systems. It involves a lot of things. It's also about knowing how you can get, or how these bad guys derive sensitive information from unauthorized domains. And don't forget, as a defensive hacker, you are not expected to launch such attack on system. You are not permitted to do so. So we are looking at section 7, and section 7 talks about reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is one of the very, very key topic in the field of cybersecurity. Understanding this topic will help you a lot. For those of us that truly want to practice cybersecurity, we need to understand that a lot is expected from us for us to be able to guide an organization on how to check their system vulnerabilities and to perform threat analysis. So for you to perform threat analysis and vulnerability, you will definitely need this topic. So the reconnaissance is divided into two. So we are going to look at passive and active reconnaissance. So let's quickly look at the overview of this section 7. What we are expected to learn in this section. So it's a very long section. I think it's one of the longest section or topic in ethical hacking. So we are starting it today. So in this section, we'll be going over how to conduct passive and reconnaissance. Conduct passive and reconnaissance on a network. Specifically, we will be going over passive versus active reconnaissance. We'll also look at various tools that these bad boys use for carrying out passive reconnaissance, and the one they also use for carrying out active reconnaissance. So don't forget that we are being trained so that we can be used to apprehend them. Any company that is going to engage your service, expect that you know the ways of the bad guys. I've said it before. That should be your motive. Because if you are learning cybersecurity with that motive, you'll be able to go far learning all the details you need to know. But if you are learning it with that myopic mentality that you just want to go and start breaking into people's system, then you may not be able to be patient enough to go through every part you need to understand. So for every organization to engage you as a cybersecurity specialist, they expect that you know how the bad guys that threaten the internet space operate, so that you can either advise them to put measures in place so that they can be ahead of their activities. That is the essence of coming for this training. That is why I told us that we have passive and we have a defensive rather, and offensive hacking or cybersecurity practice. So an institution like ours would never train you to become an offensive ethical hacker. They are training you on defensive, that is to defend system. And the only way you can do that is when you understand the way they launch their attack. So now ethical hacking reconnaissance. So this is where we are looking at what is reconnaissance. You are still on this slide. Can we proceed? Can I go to the next slide? All right. Now, what is reconnaissance? This particular term is actually derived from military. If you are a military personnel, you understand this term, reconnaissance. In summary, is an art of investigating or gathering information from the domain you want to launch an attack on. So what this bad boy does, they engage so much in this aspect of cybersecurity or ethical hacking, because understanding this makes them to synchronize information from your own end without you even knowing. And then the essence or their motive is to get sensitive information that could be used to launch the attack at the end of the day. So that is why I said is one of the important aspects of cybersecurity, this topic. So they dwell so much on this because there are a lot of persons or organization data that are very vulnerable to attack. There are a lot of loopholes on the internet, a lot of them. A lot of persons are not aware of the ways of these bad guys. As a result of that, they have not taken strict measure to be ahead of them. So you need to know that these boys can launch attack to your system, either passive or active. So we're going to find out which one is passive reconnaissance and which one is active reconnaissance. So like I've explained here, information gathering and getting to know the target systems is the first process in ethical hacking. First process. So after this topic, we will be moving into web app hacking. We are going to be learning how to penetrate into applications that runs on the website, which is part of the way these boys or the black hat hackers practice hacking. So it's not just Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi could even be the list that they want to hack. The main target is not even Wi-Fi, is what? Web what? Apps. So after this, why this topic is coming first is for us to understand different what? Techniques and the functions that we can use to gather information from those what? Web application before you are able to what? To launch the attack. So I want us to really pay good attention to this topic, because after this topic, the next topic, almost everything we'll be doing will be requiring the skill on this topic. So we need to pay attention. So Reconnaissance is a set of processes and techniques, bracket, footprinting, scanning, and enumeration, used to covertly discover and collect information about a target system. So the idea of the bad link that these people send to you, you know, we have talked about it before, that there are some persons that will just send you a link, right? And ask you to click on it. All these, there are different ways of trying to gather what? Information that will be used to hack that system from you. That is why you are advised as an internet user to always be careful when a link is sent to you. Verify the authenticity of that link before you click on it. Do not just click, because it could just be one of their ways under Reconnaissance, either passive or what? Active. So I wouldn't say that one is even what? Active. It's passive. Passive is when the person trying to hack your system do not have any what? First-hand what? Knowledge about that system. So what they will do, that's what we call passive, and it's more difficult. It's more difficult because if it is active, the person must have known your IP address, right? And the person must have known certain information that he can easily use to launch the attack. But when it is passive, so that is why you see most of them will sponsor individuals that are very close to you to give them what? Certain what? Sensitive information about you. That is, they are trying to go the route of what? Active reconnaissance. That's what, having prior knowledge about that system. But in a situation where they could not get those information, they will go the route of what? Passive. And that passive will require launching different technology to help to return what? Information. So like I've highlighted as the key topic or the key function of the reconnaissance is what? Footprinting, scanning your system. So they can use these technologies to what? To scan your system. They can use it to scan your email. They can use it to scan your app. And they return important. They will even know whether your website is what? Has a very strong security what? Strength. You will see it now. By the time we start implementing one of the most used technology under which is called Nmap or network mapping, you will now find out that there are some websites that you think that are very secure today. It will bring out the details, the security strength of that website, and tell you whether the website purchased security what? Component in it. Because when a website is developed, when the developer is hosting it, there is always an opportunity for you to say you want to purchase what? Security. That is the kind of website you see the padlock, but these days it's not really padlock. There's kind of 3 lines. with dot at the edge until you click on it before you see the word, the padlock. That is why we are advised that any website that you could not find that security icon, whatever you do on that site cannot be what? Traced. So it's not heady. So these guys will find out whether the website has what? Security or not. So let's quickly look at, I say what? During Reconnaissance, I believe you have written that, during what? Reconnaissance, an ethical hacker attempt to gather as much information about a target system as what? Possible. So just to list some of the information they will be able to uncover from the system they are targeting. So they will gather what? Initial what? Information. Determine the network range. So this is a kind of classification of what they could get through the reconnaissance. Identify active what? Machines. So they will know if the machine is active. How many of us know that if a machine is not active, they cannot truly scan or hack it? If your laptop is down, can somebody hack it? Good. So they will be able to know whether the machine is hacked. Discover open port. Remember, we have discussed port before under networking what? Fundamentals, right? We talk about the essence, what port can do. In fact, we went further to explain some popular what? Ports for transmitting what? Data within the internet space. So once the port is open, then it will be easier for them to what? To release the attack. Put, that is finger what? Print and operating system. You know, there are some of us that our systems are the activated fingerprint security, which is one of the modern way of securing system. Now, most computer systems that are being produced today comes with what? Fingerprint what? Technology, which is more secure than just password that we used before, that we are still using. Uncover services. So they can also use this process to find out what? Services. And then map the network. They can also what? Map the network. So let's quickly look at what is passive reconnaissance. We are starting with the first one. Passive reconnaissance is the one we first of all start with, and then we will now run it up with active reconnaissance. So what do I mean by passive reconnaissance? So there are different ways I have captured it here. The first one is passive reconnaissance involves gathering information about a target without what? Look at the keyword is underlined. Without what? Forming any sort of connection or contacts with them at all. You don't have any connection to the system, and you still want to gather information from that system. That is passive reconnaissance. And like I said, that is the one most of these bad boys engage in most. So that is why people's system get hacked without them even knowing how it happened. Because they will have launched this attack or this technology to gather all the information they need. And then from there, they will be able to what? To penetrate into the system. Typically, passive reconnaissance involves using open source intelligence. It involves open source what? Intelligence, which is abbreviated to what? OSINT. So I advised us before now that let us also try to be familiar with the terminologies. It's very important. Any field you are learning, you get also used to what? To the terms. So to gather information about your target, this means that
you pretty much utilize any publicly available information you can find on the internet. This allows you to not be detected while gathering what? Useful information. You can't actually detect them when they are doing this because they are not physically coming to you. They are sending scripts. I should go back to the previous. Huh? I should go back. No. You said when you're saying something about if a system is stuck or not active, they can't be able to you feel like the website, maybe the website is down. Depends. If the website too is down, you cannot hack it. You understand? Whatever system it is you want to. A website can be a system. You understand? Can be a system, can be a domain. Just imagine you are wasting your time trying to hack a website that their subscription has even expired. So, but this system will help them to know whether the website is what is running. Once you are ready, let me know.
Alpha. Alpha. Okay. All right. So let's also look at what is active. What is active? So just for us to be able to know there are differences before we start zeroing in on each of them. So what is active reconnaissance? Active reconnaissance involves gathering information about a target while initiating connection or contact with them. So typically, active reconnaissance involves using a variety of tools like port scanners or vulnerability scanners to gather information. This allows you to gather more useful information, but allow you to be detected. So you can see the difference now. You are gathering, but you can be what? Detected. Now let's quickly dive into the passive reconnaissance tools. So we want to start looking at some tools that are very much used by the black hat hackers to carry out this deadly attack. So like I said, or which I have mentioned before, why is it important for you to understand these tools? Because when you are engaged tomorrow in an organization, you are going to be using your laptop to be what? Verifying all this. So once you can go through, it means that what? The system. So whatever you are able to collect from the company's data or system, that will inform you regarding to the security threats of that system. So you will not give your security reports during their official meetings. So you'll be able to have an update that after you carry out your security analysis, what did you use to carry out the security analysis? It's simply what? Deploying some of these what? Techniques that you know, and then you are able to tell them that the system is vulnerable to attack or not. That is why you must understand them, even though you are not going to use it for bad purpose. Now, we are starting with the first two. Remember I said you are looking at the tools. So anybody who is into ethical hacking, particularly, in fact, let's say ethical hacking, should understand what is called Reconnaissance. So that Reconnaissance is an abbreviation of what? Reconnaissance, right? So instead of you calling it Reconnaissance, you can also say what? Recon. But when you put -ng, is a tool, is a passive what? Reconnaissance what? Tool. Now that we understand what passive is, I believe it is clear to you. That is one of the tools that is used by the black hat hackers in order to gather information from a system that they do not have prior what? Knowledge on. So Reconnaissance is one of the most powerful tools for conducting passive reconnaissance using open source intelligence. Using open source intelligence. This will typically be one of the first tools you want to run when conducting reconnaissance. So in this case, as a security specialist, you are going to use it to check the system of that particular organization you are protecting their internet space. So if you are able to find out whether the security strength is strong, then you will now be able to, or if it is not strong, then you have to advise them. So you can learn information about, that is through deployment of this particular tool, what and what you can capture, what and what you can gather from that particular domain or that system. Number one, IP address. So when you launch this particular tool, it will return the IP address of that system. Two, account naming conventions. When we say account naming convention, we are talking about a particular what? System that they use in naming their account. So once they understand some of these naming conventions, that will give them a kind of clarity to how to go about with the attack. Then it will also return the locations where the system is and the users who are the people operating on that system. Then email addresses. So this can also return their email addresses, their password, and even more. So that is why I said it's one of the longest topic in this aspect of cyber security. So we are going to take some quality time to be exploring different modules that these boys uses to gather what? Information, either passive or what? Active. Can I move? Two. All right, now we are going to start with how to install the Recon engine in our Kali. We're going to start with the installation before you can start using it to extract different information from those systems. Now, let me switch to the other views so that we can be performing these tasks together. That will advise us to be writing your code accordingly. So let me open my Kali. So let's see if we can complete installation today. So the first thing is for you to run this code. I want you to be taking notes before you implement so that you can capture every step. Starting by updating your Kali command. You know, it has been our usual system. So there are some of these scripts, though the Kali that you install is an ethical hacking operating system, which we did describe that it has already came with what? Some built-in functions, but sometimes these functions need to be what? Updated with the latest one before you can install some of these advanced tools. So we are going to write sudo apt what? Update, which is part of what we should have known before now. So I'll simply write sudo apt updates. Okay, so just make sure that your computer your Kali is connected to the internet, then enter the password you use in setting up your Kali, and that will permit the update. You have questions, sir? You did a sudo.
So it was like inside something like D or B. Calling it to write code.
We have not executed it now.
I did.
It's still loading. You make sure, hope you confirm your internet connection. Yes. So what is it telling you? Are we all on the same page? Shall I proceed? The result we are getting here, which says what? 792 packages can be upgraded. Run apt what? List to see them. So what it means is that it fetched how many? Within 2 minutes 59 what? Second. So it's still giving you update that those what can be what? You know, there was this there is another syntax you can use, which is a sudo apt get update, right? Which that one, and there's another one again, sudo apt update the space -y. That is y. You understand? So there are so many of them. Some of them, this one is just like updating shallow, but the other, there are some that can go in depth. So that is what it's telling you. Can we proceed? Okay, now, so the next thing we want to look at, now that we have updated our Kali, we just want to make sure that our Kali is up to date before we start installing. So you can see, like what I was saying now, you can see this one now. This is how you write it. You just space -what? Y, like this. So code sudo apt install -y, then git Python 3, because this tool is written with what? Python. And that is the reason why you are ensuring that you install Python 3. And this is the syntax for installing the Python 3. Can we go and try it now? Once you are done, right, always let me know. Okay. So let's quickly run that code and install the Python 3. So sudo apt install space -y and then git. So when you put git, it means you are installing from what? GitHub repository. That is what it means. Then Python, yes, Python to specify the version. Python, we have Python 2, we have Python 1.0. So you specify the version of Python you are installing. So after this, you put the hyphen, then pipe. So you run it. So what this is going to do is to install what? The dependencies. The dependencies, they are like sub-functions that one of the major functions depend on. To run, they are just like plugins. So if it does not find that plugin, it will not be executed. So check if the output you get is the same with mine. So I said I got what? Git is already, because I have already run this code. Okay? So your own might take some time. You only see running all it has. Okay. Please, we are waiting for now. Have we not executed so that I can go to the next slide? Guys, you continue, right? All right. So now that we have installed the Python, the next thing is to clone the Recon engine from GitHub. That is the next step, to clone the Recon engine from GitHub. And the code is git clone https github.com, then land master 53/reconengine.git.
After the master, I need to also
53. Yes. That is 53 now, not S. All right, so let me go and also confirm same thing. So like I said, start with git. Git clone https:/git github.com/land masters. Land master 53/recon ng dot git. Destination path. So I already have it installed. But you can run it. What did you get? Done, right? Also. Said what? Your internet. Any issue of resolving? Is it browsing? I'll check it again. Let me see what you get. Is the next code to run. Now you will enter the directory. Make sure you are writing the comments. Now enter the directory. Now remember that we install, look up. Whenever you write a code like this, the last URL, what does it signify? It's a file now that you created, right? That is what all this, look at this here. You said you are cloning this Recon engine from what? GitHub. Where will it be stored within your system? So there are some things by now you should know. It means that as you run this code, file has been pulled out from what? GitHub and stored where? Stored in this directory, right? That is why this code is what? Now, this CD, that directory, means that what? You want to access that directory. Now let's go and implement it. So I say write CD. I believe we know what is CD now from basic Linux, right? So I'm in the directory now. So the next step now is to install require dependencies, which is this particular code. Install require dependencies. So here you are trying to confirm whether everything about that Python 3 has been installed. You can actually do away with this particular code, yes?
I entered the directory.
No, you have not gotten here. You shouldn't go there. Okay. Look at what I type. Look at the, are you not following? When I type it, what did I get? I don't know why all your own are always different. God will help you. Get that cup of deliverance. We are going there actually, but that is not, this is not the code to enter there. Where do you want to go? Yeah? Yeah. Hmm? Yes, now run it now and see the results. So we can go to the next one. So the next one is I said what? Pipe install -R. That is just to confirm that all the dependencies are what? Properly installed. Like I said, it's optional. That will not stop your code from working. Yes. P what? Pipe 3. That's pipe 3 now. Pipe 3 space install. The space -R. Are we together? So the next step is now for us to make it executable format. I believe we should understand this CH mode concept, right? So we want to make it executable format. So we write CH mode plus X, then record engine. Yes, plus sign now, plus and X. Can I proceed? So let's go there. So CH mode plus X followed by the name of the directory you are making executable. So now, finally, which is where we are going to stop today. Finally, now we can now run the what? The Recon engine. So to run the Recon engine, just / what? Record engine. / record engine. So what I'm going to simply do is to write / record engine. Say what? No such what? Added what? Oh, sorry. Dot sorry, I just I think I'm still making the same mistake. / recon. Let me not take it from the suggested. So perfect. So this is the what? The tool. So in the next class, we have already installed it. We will start using it to launch what? The passive. We start using it for the passive reconnaissance. We start using it to gather information from different systems, from Google, from Facebook, wherever it is, what to get people information from. Remember, everything you are learning is for educational purpose. we do not advocate using this case for in a harmful way to individual or an organization.